Hey everybody, thanks for watching A Guy Doing Stuff. I'm Adam, and today I'm going to be making the stems for a cedar strip canoe. The stems are the curved pieces of wood on the front and the back end of the canoe. I'm using white ash for my stems because it bends well. For each end of the boat there's an inner stem and an outer stem, each about 3/4 of an inch thick. You can't bend ash at this thickness onto this tight of a curve, so I'm going to have to laminate a bunch of thin strips together. Using my stem mold, I get an idea of how long I should make my strips that I'll be bending into shape. I cut 1/4 by 3/4 inch strips, quite a bit longer than they need to be so they're easier to work with. I'll cut them to length after they're bent. I'll need 12 strips total, 6 strips for each end of the canoe. I also make these 1/8 inch strips that I put on the outside when I bend so I don't damage any of my outer strips when I clamp. A lot of people use a steam box to bend, but I don't want to build one of those, so instead I filled my bathtub up with a couple inches of hot water, throw the strips in, then dump a bunch of boiling water in. I let that sit overnight, and the next day drain the tub, fill it the same way, wait 20 minutes, then fill it the same way one more time. I just poured my boiling water in for the 3rd time. Now I'm going to take 6 strips out with the 1/8 inch scrap strip clamped to the outside, clamp them on the stem mold, and slowly bend them onto the mold. I apply the clamps along the mold as I'm bending. I wait a couple days, then I unclamp the stems and tie a line from one end to the other so they keep their shape as they continue to dry. I let them sit like this for another couple days before I glue them. It's been about a week since I bent my strips, so they should be dry enough to glue now. I'm going to glue the 3 inner strips together and the 3 outer strips together. I put tape in between the inner and outer strips so I don't accidentally glue them together, apply glue to all the strips, then re-clamp them onto the stem mold. I use the 1/8 inch scrap strip again on the outside so I don't damage the outer strip when I'm clamping. The next day I take them off the molds. I sand the edges of the outer stem with an orbital sander to clean it up. For the inner stems you have to make a running bevel. I draw my best guess of what I think the running bevel will be, then shape it on a belt sander. Then I go check the bevel with a long flexible stick and go back to the belt sander if I need to clean it up. I go back and forth like this till I'm happy with the shape of the bevel. As you start stripping your canoe, you'll glue the whole strips to the inner stem. Then when you're done, you use the outer stem as a cap to hide the end grain of the strips. Making the stems is one of the more confusing processes of boat building, but I also think it's one of the most fun and interesting. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any different ways to do anything that I just did, feel free to leave a comment on this video. Thanks for watching A Guy Doing Stuff. Don't forget to hit subscribe.